Okay, so I think the AirPods is better. Today is this is a video recap for August 10, 2026, and I will explain the lines. This is the weekly candle from last week, and I always mark the equilibrium level because I want to see price reaching or retesting that level. And then this is the daily. So also have to put an equilibrium on the daily. This is too many lines. So this is the daily equilibrium and the weekly. No need to label. So I took 3 trades today and we'll see candle by candle how what my thought process is. So this is the first 4H candle close, and it's not a signal to me, so I skip that time. We'll wait for the next. This is the next 4H candle close, and I see it rejecting the daily 50% level. On at this time, I really wanted to enter a buy on the close, but I was away from the computer and I wanted to record it, so I just skip I just skipped this trade, and I think it would have played well, but well, we'll see. So I missed this trade, but then yeah, I missed that because this is the next candle 5. Now my thought process for this is where my first trade happened. After candle 5 close, I immediately thought that candle 4 is the low for the day and price will reach the high of the of last week's high, which is Friday here. So entered on I entered on the close also, targeting this level. Actually, I didn't have a target, at least the high was my target, and this is the stop. Unfortunately, my bias was wrong, so I was stopped out. Now for the second trade, I I saw the candle 6 become bearish, very bearish, but I was still in my head. I was still since this one is the weekly low in my head. Since it's still Monday, we may not yet reach the the weekly equilibrium. In my head, I was just thinking maybe we will just rebound from the daily 50%, which is this level. So I took also an impulse trade of a buy here based on that premise. And while I was in that trade, I also had to mark this candle 6 for the equilibrium because in my head I also thought of price. The other scenario would be price really going down to touch. Sorry. So the other scenario would be price retracing to the 50 and then eventually reaching here. But I think I was too focused on my initial buy order. So I thought, I was thinking it's still gonna go higher. That's why I made the second trade buy. But because I was hesitant, I set the target here. And while this played out, let's see in the while this played out in the shorter time frame, I saw this candle. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure which one, but I scaled in. I did a scale in. Not this. I don't remember where, but I scaled in somewhere here. I think around this area. And then I moved the stop of the initial trade. So essentially, my risk is still the same because I moved my initial stop. I don't like that idea, but I think it's because I think this is the candle, this one. I like that it engulfed the rest of these candles. Anyway, because the reason for the scale in is because of the 50% equilibrium on the 4H time frame. I was afraid price was really gonna go bearish. And then it did. So see, this is what happened in the 1 hour. So my two trades here, since I exited them early, it was a win. But if I held them longer and expected a bullish scenario, I would have lost, and it would have been a really wrong trade because the bias was wrong. But because it's a perfect example of base hits where I just take profit when I reach a certain amount, which is 2% or 1% in this case. And yeah, so that's it. And then after candle one, I didn't enter anymore. So I took three trades today on in two accounts. So the live account was a loss, the first trade, and then the second was the phase two, which was positive. And so if you look at what happens next, this is the current can this is the current chart. If you look at price, and had we taken that position of a sell here basing on this bearish candle and entry on the 50% and stops here and target on the weekly equilibrium, it would have panned out perfectly. But we did not take that. We took the other route, which I think I just got lucky because I wasn't greedy. So I did several right things today. I did not overtrade. I only took base hits. And yeah, that's it for today.